Yeah. Well. So were the two connected? Like, could you just walk through? So obviously this wasn't here, was it?
Well, to be honest, my mate who this, he was a Belgian lad. I ended up putting him up in minor strike, and I think it's such an eerie picture. And that was in a minor strike.
Yeah.
And what happened to what I used to do, mate, in a minor strike like that, two or three of us like that, I used to come back on a night turn when I was on strike, make our way over here. I'd go to client gantries where the conveyor belts from, and I would cut their conveyor belts to stop coal. True stories, true stories. To stop coal going to that power station, so he's come back maybe 1 o'clock, and he was like a commando, because he could hear people talking like that, and he'd creep and hide for a bit.
Yeah.
Cut the conveyor belts.
And were the power station workers
No.
kind of not on your side?
No, definitely not.
No. They were like very different.
You know, I had to do with one some years ago. It's a true story. Some years ago, and he'd asked him. I met him in a gym, and he was a proper conservative. And he worked at a power station. He says, my dad said, always wear collar and tie. Well, there's nothing wrong in that.
Yeah.
My dad said, you never wear overalls. Oh, I said, I was a miner. He said, we stopped supporting the miners when they stopped us getting pies from the canteen. Honestly, I've heard them all, honestly. I've heard them all.
So what, were they unionised or?
Well, I think his name was Ammon. Over the electrician, the union, over power station like that. I think Ammon, I think his name was a union. Right communist. And I mean, Chapman, his name, Chapman.
Yeah.
A proper communist. And overnight he changed. He changed from being this rebel to being such a tosser. He didn't support the miners properly like that. But he wasn't on his own. There was a lot of people. Because I went to the TUC conference, and within an hour, you knew then you weren't going to get the backing.
No.
From the TUC.
So the TUC were power stations or
steelmen,
general, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I was there, and you should look for it on YouTube. I was in Wales. I can't remember what part in Wales, and a conference is going on, and Norman Willis was the chairman. And one of miners put a hangman's noose over his neck. Have a look on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
The youngies over his, like that's hungry, because we knew then that we'd been hung out to dry.
Yeah.
Now you can do if you want, and I'll have you walk. If you want to walk over to.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy going wherever, Stuart. Yeah. So was this here?
No.
No.
Now I can't.
Was
remember.
there a bridge?
I think there was an old, like they used to have the old railway bridges, kind of like the steel ones.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm also 90% sure there was one of those old bridges. And across the moss, because obviously the moss was just slurry. It was just slurry from underground.
Yeah.
So if you went over here in them days, and in the 70s or 80s or before that, you kind of took your life in your own hands.
Yeah.
And it's only our colliers who probably, there was no official route to go over here.
Right.
But this was just slurry.
Yeah.
The whole lot of it.
So when you say slurry, you mean like?
When coal's been washed?
Yeah, like just.
Muck. Dirt,
yeah.
Clear, like sludge.
Yeah. And was that all like the residue coming out that obviously you couldn't?
Yeah, because you obviously separate coal from stone and wash it. So all the and it's a bit like if you think about Aberfan.
Yeah.
The Aberfan disaster was slurry.
Yeah.
There were slag heaps or. So you would have got a lot of men travelling home from work this way.
Oh, so that's that. So when you say about the moss.
Yeah. So this is the moss. And this, when we walk through it should show you, when we stood on, if they're still in the ground, different seams, 4 feet.
Right.
Florida. Hopefully, they've not been destroyed or.
Yeah.
So there again, you'd get a lot of men, like I say, walking to and from work, pretty much this way. They're shedding carefully, I can imagine. And of course, this led to two places, not just, going home, led to two places, either to Miners Institute for a couple of drinks,
Yeah.
or your family home. I know a lot of men who chose Institute rather than their home.
So over the other side, you've got because the club's down there. Is that what you? Is that when you mean what you mean by the Institute? Yeah.
And don't forget, the Institute was a meeting up centre for lots of things. There was discos and dances and divorces every Sunday night at this club. One of the best dance floors you can ever see.
Yeah.
Rugby teams.
Yeah.
We had two rugby teams. Both were league, not union. Bowls, dominoes, darts.
Is it still open, the club?
I believe upstairs, only because one of my friends who I see occasionally on Facebook, he says, I'm in Bold. It's called another name now. But I think, I remember going on two occasions, and it was a place for disabled children. And they asked me where to go in, just talk about mining for a little bit. Anyway, I did, and whether it's still active or not, I really don't know.
Right.
Wow, the big difference here when I last on here.
Now, well, I've been a few times on my bike round here, but again, just to kind of try and get my head around it. But
It's fast.
yeah, it's so big, isn't it?
Even I can get lost on here.
So
No, it's like a different path.
yeah. So this was still all the slag heaps and
No,
yeah,
pretty much this.
yeah,
It's only been washed, like kind of thing like that, and it's obviously overgrown. You won't have to scratch very fair.
yeah.
We need to service to buy bits of coal and stone and things like that from. You know what I mean? You won't have to. Like I say, you won't have to scratch very deep.
Yeah.
And actually, when they planted it up, I don't think they had any planning about it. I think they just planted it up, and I think they let it go a bit wild.
Yeah. No, you see, it's really well landscaped, isn't it?
Let's have a look, 'cause I've never. This is what it would. This is what this whole site would have been like. So you can see, like, you take your life in your own hands, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't know what depth that is or
No,
anything
no,
like that.
not at all. No.
And it doesn't look very steady now, does it? Over all
No.
these 40 years, whatever 50 years it's been stood here, like. So this whole site, what we look at, would have been like that.
Right.
So it just gives you an insight, doesn't it, like to how much slurry
Yeah.
over 100 years was dumped here. When you think the pit was 100 years old,
Yeah.
whether it was a quarry and they dumped it in a quarry, or whether you'd be higher than this. But wow,
Yeah.
there's a big piece of land. This.
Yeah. So you don't know, that could be any depth, couldn't it?
No, you could put your foot on that. You don't know. Even now I wouldn't walk on it. Obviously, like
No.
you've been over on a bike.
Yeah.
But no.
You don't know what it is.
But that is what it would have looked like. Not that flat,
Yeah.
because it was just it's just dumped over here, and there'd be obviously 944s and God knows what tipping it over here, like these big waste wagons, like other coal mines. And I used to know the one like at where Burton Head Road, though, because my auntie used to live in them terrace row of houses. What is Burton Head Road? And where you've got like the DW gym. And
Yeah. Was it called Alexander?
well, it was Burton Head Road that I remember it as. And Joe Pickavance's his site was there, which is now that big roundabout.
Yeah. Yeah.
down
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
or McDonald's.
Yeah.
And Burton Head Road's run parallel.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, and they had the buckets over red.
Yeah.
Taking slow.
Right. Yeah.
I never knew what they were doing and where they were going, but I could see these buckets going. Some said they were going to Sherdley. Well,
Right.
when I've asked recently, like some say, oh, they were going to Sherdley, dumping it and stuff like that. So,
Right.
But I used to remember these.
Yeah. Well, I think because I was looking at that one on a map, so because it was kind of close to Cobbs Hill, wasn't it?
That's right.
And I was trying to figure out whether, you know, because it's so close to the glass.
Unbelievable.
And I was thinking, I wonder whether the two kind of like went hand in hand, whether they were supplying coal from there to...
Quite possible. And again, like that, as a kid, and it used to be Grovesies, I used to know it as Grovesies, and I used to, and it's still there, like a man-made, well, it's not man-made, that like a river, a pond, or I used to fish there as a kid.
Yeah, ah, right,
I used
yeah.
to fish there for perch as a kid, like, and it's, obviously it's still there, as you well know, it's still there. See, that would take you to Boulder Estate.
Yeah,
Good
morning.
That would take you to Boulder Estate, to the council estate,
Yeah.
obviously, which were all pit houses, as you know.
Yeah. So everybody who lived on that estate was more or less employed by the pit, yeah.
Yeah, you could put your name to buy one of those. So I never put my name on for one, but my mate, like, he well, two of my mates, they bought the ones in Hall Street in Clockface, and they're really good double brick
Right.
houses, like.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Were these like a prefab, like of, you know, concrete and.
Because they look more like kind of your traditional kind of council houses, don't they?
absolutely,
Yeah.
Well, them, the Hall Street, they're very, very nice actually. You could buy one of them for about £2,500 at the time,
Right.
and have it stopped out your wages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is the coal board or British Coal, whereas there was equally poor employer as good, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they always give you, you know, to buy houses or whatever. I never worked in a closed shop, or the coal mines I went to. Sutton Manor was a closed shop, only family members.
Right. So explain that to us then. So what was that and why?
Well, some coal mines, again, when I worked down, if you think in St Helens at that time where Sutton Manor is situated, and then I went to Goulburn Colliery, and that's in a village.
Yeah.
So it's that family connection all the time. So I don't really know how many men worked at Sutton Manor, and when I worked at Goulburn, maybe about 800 men. So it's only a small amount of men.
Yeah.
When you think Bold, maybe 2,000 men.
Yeah.
So we never had a closed shop.
Yeah. Because you employed anyone and everyone.
Anybody.
Yeah.
And later on in my mining career, and jobs were like scarce. In fact, my union, help it, we refused to take YTS.
Right.
Which was like a young.
Yeah.
We said we'll take them if you pay them the same money as the man he works with.
Right.
Not on a 6-month scheme or something like that. We refused to have that. So the next thing, the firemen said, who were our bosses kind of thing, oh, our sons want jobs. And we said, no.
Yeah.
This is not a closed shop. Because you're a fireman or overman doesn't mean that your son has first choice.
Right,
It has to be put out there to everybody.
Wow.
We've got family.
Right.
And it worked for us, but I couldn't speak for Bull Colliery.
Yeah.
Even though I had uncles who worked out manor or were overmen, top, you know, big noises on the ground, like.
Yeah.
When the strike was over and men were being transferred, there was that closed shop business had to go through the window because you had to take us. There was no choice, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. So how many did Sutton Manor employ, Stewart? Do you know?
If I take an educated guess, I would say 800, maybe 1,000 men.
Right.
Educated guess.
Yeah.
Bold, I would say at least miners, at least 1,500 miners, and then you've got your surface workers, so you know, you're looking, but Bold was a big pit, you know, a really big pit.
Yeah. So surface workers are like all admin staff?
No, surface workers, they would work loco drivers.
Oh, okay.
People who work at wash.
Right.
I hope later on I can show you where the wash was, and hopefully, if it's not overgrown, the concrete remnants, what's left. There's only a little bit of it left, but just give you an idea.
Yeah.
And of course you'll see how close it is to the railway lines, because it would be mined, up it, washed, straight onto coal wagons and distributed.
So they did use this railway line then?
The one at backwards.
Yeah, sorry, that one, yeah. And was it the same line as it is now, or was there
Yes.
separate lines?
No, it was.
Right, okay.
You might have a feeder line.
Yeah.
The main line, like, you know what I mean? I remember a programme, again, should look for it on YouTube, and the presenter's name was Brian Redhead,
Yeah.
and they were celebrating the George Stephenson's rocket, and they stored all these steam trains at Bold at back there. It was brilliant.
Okay.
And he did his programme from Bold on.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, it was brilliant to see all these old steam trains. This takes me back, because I played rugby for these men. Nothing's changed.
I don't think I've been down this bit.
But,
I remember that, but not.
yeah. And everywhere there's space now, it's been built on.
So that's the club, innit?
That's the club.
Yeah.
That's the club. Nothing's changed here. I played rugby on that pitch. We had 2 pitches, bottom pitch and top pitch. Like yesterday.
So they didn't have a football team.
Oh yeah, they had everything.
Oh, did they?
Oh yeah, they had everything. Absolutely everything. Cricket team. And when I was a kid like that, about 4 weeks ago, because I worked at Goulburn, I was invited to Goulburn Carnival. But as a kid, I used to come here with my dad one day in summer, like, and pipe bands from Scotland would be here.
Right.
I used to marches, brass bands from all over the country, and you'd have a miners' gala.
Yeah.
A bit like the Durham Gala, actually, in a way.
Yeah.
Probably on a smaller version. There'd be tug of war, be men, and sacks running with sacks of coal, and
Yeah.
kids would have relays, and egg and spoon, and sack racing. All these things you don't see anymore.
No, well, you don't, do you? No.
You don't see it anymore. It's very sad. Fortunately, it's not on the mobile.
Yeah. So did you come to the club much?
To be truthful, no. I was
No.
quite happily married,
Yeah.
to be honest.
It does seem quite, as far as the club goes, it does seem quite big, doesn't it? And,
Oh, it's huge.
yeah.
You know we're not ever going to get in, don't you? Like, but we've got to the club anyway.
Yeah.
No, I'll be honest with you, Kevin. I probably spent more time here. I play rugby.
Yeah.
There were that now where this building here. That
Yeah.
wasn't there, but that's where our changing rooms were, the old ones,
Yeah.
and showers for rugby and football.
Yeah.
So I did. So I play rugby, come here, have a pint, and I'd go home.
Yeah.
And then, I'll be honest with you, when I was working on the ground, I never really ventured out for drinking.
No.
Because I was going to work next day, and
Yeah.
I always wanted my wits about me.
Was that a thing at all, ever?
I've seen lads come in like full of drink, but some of them had really, what's that, soft jobs. All jobs are already paid, but they'd have a job and you could say, right Stu, I'm going, and your job's there.
Yeah.
And next time you see anybody, when I'm on my way out,
Yeah.
because you call a button man,
Right.
but stop conveyors. If one conveyor stops, you have to stop that because coal will just keep piling over.
Right.
So they needed a man, called a button man,
Right.
just to knock it off. So upstairs, that was a conference room,
Right.
a conference room and a fantastic dance floor. Again, I probably spent more time here in 84 and 85 because this is where we'd come for boiled eggs and a piece of toast
Yeah.
after being on a picket line every morning.
So was that owned and run by the coal board, or was it
Union.
separate? The union, right? Yeah.
Union, yeah. Union office, work chimneys was about there, upstairs. So you go in there like you do your picketing. I'd drive back a bus, park it up
Yeah.
front, maybe way around back. Like I said, I'd have tea and toast, 2 boiled eggs. I'd get me £2, and more or less I went home then if there was nothing going on.
Yeah.
Some lads played, stopped with a paid, like chased the race with a £2 trying to make it 4, like. Didn't happen very often, like, no, but that's what some did, like, because like I say, even on the picket line, you get lads coming from Haydock and Wigan, so for a 20-minute picket, really, because that's all a picket was, really.
Yeah.
It's a 20-minute waiting for them to come in, and when they've gone in, there's not really much you can do.
No.
You'd have your pushes and shove with police, and when the fun and games is over,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah, that's it.
You go home because there's nothing else to do.
No.
You go back then when they're coming out, because afternoon to them are coming in. Scabs as well, like, so they got the same amount of abuse as what they turn got, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But funny enough, like, I was giving a talk at Astley, and on the miners' strike. It goes down very well, actually. It really goes down. I think people are more interested in the miners' strike than what they are in mining, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And the fireman there, and I work with him down Bold, and he said, after I finished talking, it was an air strike. It was an air strike. I said, what was? He said, 84, 85. I said, how do you know? I said, you worked all the way through it. I said, in fact, I see you walk through the picket line every morning when I was there. I said, that was your union's choice. We don't say you know what was there, but you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Wow.
So here we have, again, to, I won't call them miners' cottages.
Yeah.
Really, that's all they were. But, they were miners' homes. And I would say, again, you had to work at pit.
Yeah.
In them days, to own or live in a pit house.
So, did they become part of Right to Buy scheme?
I think they bought them through, again, it wouldn't have been through the government. It would have been through the coal board or which is called.
So, do you reckon the council just bought them once?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
At £2,500, you're going to step up, weren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at, the sad thing is, if you look at this and you look at Port Sunlight,
Yeah.
shows you what they think about the workers, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, quite a difference, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was still this kind of height?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not been landscaped that much?
This has not been raised or anything like that. So you can really, when you look at it from here, it has got quite a build on it, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Just looks flat when we're walking on it.
Yeah, so and it wouldn't have had trees on?
No. It was slurry.
Yeah. That's all you would have seen?
Slurry.
Yeah.
Just flat. Slurry. And when you think about it, I always say, you know what I mean? I know for a fact, you see, like, I'm not saying there hasn't been disruption here, there and everywhere, like, antisocial behaviour. But I'll tell you what, if you're going to mine in the state, I guarantee people kept in check.
Kept in check, yeah.
Out west. I'm there tomorrow. I've just swapped.
Right, I see.
What a nightmare.
Oh, I know, it always is, isn't it? I know. I always think that whenever you change banks, it's like the last thing you will ever do ever again.
Oh.
It's just...
And actually, it's been that bad. I was with TSB all my life, and they only had one in Sutton, and they moved it to Ashton. And my wife doesn't drive, and it's a bit of a... you know what I mean? So I said, well, we'll swap. It's been that bad with these. He sent me a nice hamper through post, apologising, and an £100 voucher. That's how bad it's been. But this woman who's ringing me now, this Sarah, she's really looked after us.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I was in Marches, I got 2 bottles of wine for her. I said, thank you. It works both ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's all right when like when you get some kind of personal connection. It's normally all right, isn't it? Yeah. Someone looking after you, isn't it?
Pulleys off the headgears from both Colliery here. Engineered in its very best.
So what? Yeah, what is this, Stu?
Now this is what you'd see on top of headgears.
Right.
The pulleys, the headgears.
Yeah.
The huge metal frames. Yeah. These are the pulleys, what's on top, what the ropes go round to lower the cages up and down. Yeah. When you look at these, I don't know, 80, 100 years old, this is engineering. Yeah. At its very best, isn't it? At its very best. And again, the saddest thing is, I was here because I capped the shafts. I think I've told you this before, I capped the shafts at Bold. Yeah. And Let me.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks for doing this, by the way, Stuart.
Oh, it's not a big deal, mate.
Amazing.
So here we are.
Oh yeah.
That's what they are. See 'em?
Yep. Yep.
So that was a skip winding shaft. That would skip wind coal,
Yep.
right? Number 2 pit, number 3 pit. We'll find these.
So why are they bigger?
That is a skip winder. That means it's got a bigger cage.
So it's got a bigger
cage,
thing
but
to-
obviously
right.
it winds coal, so you want to get as much coal up as possible, don't you? Like, you know what I mean?
Amazing. Thank you.
So that's again, though. Yeah, that's how big it is. My
Right.
mother. And this is a coal yard here where she stood, so it's quite a big.
Oh, is that
my
your
mother?
mum?
Yeah. Up picket line. She come up picket line. Yeah. And the saddest thing is, I was here when they were brought down because I'd capped the shafts.
Yeah.
And this fella named Blaster Bates, and that's again, that's the skip winding one because it's the biggest one of the lot.
Yeah.
And there we can see Kestrel there.
Yeah, and that's it coming down.
Sad,
Yeah.
sad. But we'll go this way. And again down here, it was still going like that. It actually reminds me of an old, what a pitman. I used to come here, I used to collect bulrushes.
Oh yeah.
And for my little lads, I'd take them into school, so, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And they were, kids were fascinated to do. But I come from that background, like, you know what I mean? Being a bit of a rum lad as a kid. Adventurous, is that the word? And actually, the tourist setting like that, arches down pit, you'd have like, you might be here, there were we had 17 by 18 arches, and they're really, they all tunnel up, they're huge, 17 foot long, and there's some 14 by 15. And I worked with a Polish guy, and he used to drag one home every week just to make a tool shed at the back of his garden.
Wow.
Honestly, he'd drag it all over up north.
Wow.
Very talented men, these Polish people, I tell you.
Did you have many people from different parts?
When I first started at pit, like down in the 70s, I worked with Germans, Herbert his name was, and he gave his, everybody had a nickname at pit. Everybody. Mine was Blue Saw because I was a big lad at Popeye and Blue Saw. And he said to him, "You're a Nazi." "I'm not a Nazi." He said, "I give myself up in North Africa." He said, "I fought for the German army." Well, you'd be a Nazi if you hadn't to give yourself up.
Yeah, yeah.
And I worked with Poles.
And was that really for their expertise?
No, I think that some of them were Free French Poles. I worked with Italians, I think they were prisoners of war over here.
Right.
I worked with Hungarians who fled Budapest in 1956 when the Russians came in. And he could never go back, one of them.
No.
He always told me his brother shot this Russian guard and he escaped Budapest. He said, I'd never ever go back.
Yeah.
And yeah, and my mate, like, he lived in Leeds, his dad was Hungarian. His name being Kiss, which is an unusual name for I don't know if that's Hungarian name or not, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, how it changes around here. It don't take long enough for nature to grow.
Oh, I know.
I'll say that to the missus, like, if there was a nuclear holocaust, how long would it take, for nature to just take over?
Oh, I know.
So your job now, what you doing now, sir? Is it
So right, so this what I'm doing is it's a kind of continuation of what I did last year. So it's part of that. I don't know whether you've seen it, but it's part of Borough Culture. So they got a grant from the lottery to do like projects and do some events, and this one that I got a grant for is it's a heritage one.
Oh, cool.
So I put together this application because obviously with interviewing you, and I'd interviewed somebody who worked at Woodpit.
You'll have to just peek through there. Like,
Yeah.
Again, you won't see that very often because all these got most of the houses. You can tell it with pitmen. They got lots. Thing is, at bottom of gardens, like what do you call them? Where they grow their own spuds and.
Oh right, yeah, like allotments.
Allotment. That's
Yeah.
the word. Yeah. Yeah.
So so what I thought would
You know, we can't get across there, 'cause I don't think.
it doesn't look like it. Well,
no, I don't think that's the one I'm going to go across anyway. I don't know.
there's one I think down here in a bit, Stuart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we go. Just touch the estate
Yeah.
and then make our way back to the.
So yeah, so I'm kind of coming to these sites, and I'm going to do some photographs because I didn't do photographs for that last thing I did. So I thought I'll do some photographs of how they've been kind of regenerated and now they're used as like kind of recreational. So there is.
Yep. There is. Yep. Yep.
Pit Wheel Bridge.
Obviously, this is a focal point. This
Yeah.
amphitheatre. It came the last time it came, it had been smashed up. But that says everything, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I'm kind of going back to those people, obviously including yourself, and then just kind of getting more information about the sites, and then I'm gonna do a photography book, and then I'm gonna hopefully have some kind of like recordings that go alongside it.
Excellent. Excellent, because the town's changing so quickly.
Oh, I know. Well, you know, it's funny because when I ask the library about archival information or like photographs or anything, it's surprising how there's not that much, you know.
It's very, very sad.
And I went to an oral history conference the other day, and you know, these kind of personal historic accounts are so important for you to get a better sense of kind of what went on rather than just kind of reading in a book.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, to be honest with you, like, when I go to Astley, I say I give talks on mining.
Yeah.
And I'm only one of 3 miners on that site. I get some really. I know I've done a good job when people shake me hand or clap me or and they say fantastic. And the write-ups they write about me. And sometimes I say to myself, what am I doing this for? What am I doing this? Because I could tell stories on Nurkhagen like that. I could tell them 1,000 times. And next time I'll say the same story and it'll upset me. And it's about when my mates got killed.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've let myself down badly.
Yeah.
And Sue said to me, sure, maybe these stories belong back in your head where they've been for 40 years. I don't know. And I said to people, I said, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or not. And they said, you have to keep this going.
Yeah.
You have to keep this going. Because, you know, we had a dying breed. Here we are, look, this is a better.
Oh, right, yeah. I noticed this when I came down.
And that's well done, that.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
You know, you give credit where it's due, don't you, though?
Yeah. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then like kind of a bit of like modern adaptations and.
Yeah, so I asked myself. I've been to school a couple of times. I've been in approved schools for all sorts of kids you think they've had in their life. I'm in there. Easy on the survival of Goulburn disaster. 53% burns. Fingers are blown off, his ears are blown off. He was a kid of 20, he was only 20. Electrician. He probably shouldn't have been on the ground that day.
Right.
I'll do one more ticket for qualified.
So did you carry on working or?
After the pit stuff, we went to Anderson House for a bit, which was like the main offices for the British coal.
Yeah.
Or coal board originally. So obviously we're good at them.
Yeah.
Obviously this has been tied up. Because that's their mark here. You know, we're on a mining pit village. I mean, we think about it, Kevin. Pit villages, whether it's South Wales or wherever, or in Yorkshire, they all look alike.
Yeah.
I work with these uncles. You know what? Don't respect like that. a right rogue. Why do rogues get end up with stuff like this? Like, what is it? What is it?
What is that?
He's found it, thingy. Not needle. He's found a bird egg.
Ah, right.
Why did they get? Why did they?
Yeah.
Why? He'd have robbed you for a time.
Yeah.
Like I say, most of my mates, certainly from St Helens, would have lived in this area.
Yeah.
And as you can see, every house is exactly the same, thrown up very quickly. All would have been coal-fired houses, because you got free coal anyway.
Right.
So, and if you didn't get free coal, you'd probably borrow a bag or two
Yeah.
and drag it over Moss. But and I would say, like, you know, you could ask any one of your neighbours for anything or any help. Certainly in the mining community, and it still is actually.
Yeah.
I know who I can ask, and I know they'll do anything for me, and I would do exactly the same for them, like, because that's the brotherhood we are, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, I don't think you'll come across that anywhere else in any other industry. I might be wrong, but I just think there's something about miners and mining. It's absolutely fascinating. It is with me, and I know with the circles I knock about that we talk as much coal now as when we did underground.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And a lot of my friends are a lot older than me, and I just listen to the stories we tell because it's just absolute knowledge. It's just history.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I find it fascinating, but we're all of one breed and we look after one another and we'll do anything for one another, and it stands today as it has for all these years. Typical pit estate.
Yeah. Do you know if many who still living around here?
I had a friend who just passed on actually, and he lived 2 doors down there. I played rugby with him.
Yeah.
I worked with him. I got for knowing better at picket line, even though I played rugby with him. I got for knowing better at picket line because he works in a different district of Pitt than me.
Yeah.
And became very good friends. He then started working for Critchley's when the coal mine shut, and got COVID once and never came back out of hospital.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we make our way back to Pitt again.
Yeah.
And I always think about this when I always say to the missus, like, when I started from this point, I've come this way. It's a day's work walking to Pitt.
So this does give you some information, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1995.
You know what I find fascinating about this site? Listen, you can't imagine how much violence was going on beneath your feet.
Yeah.
It's lovely and peaceful here, only for a dog barking, but you can't imagine the violence beneath your feet here. Unbelievable. From one extreme to another.
So did the tunnels kind of span out much? Yeah.
They're like a honeycomb. You'd have main tunnel and then going down from pit bottom to the fair end. Then you'd have tunnels just coming off the main tunnel. Coal seam here, Florida, within 4 feet. I worked at Trenchy Bone, so I was probably working under very close to Burntwood Air Base.
Oh, right, wow, right.
And we couldn't go for it because then it was obviously a military base afterwards, and there was a fault called the Rory Meg fault, and I think it actually was found when they were driving the tunnels for George Stevenson's
Right.
through Liverpool that way.
Yeah.
And this fault went all the way through from Crompton that way, all the way through to us. I didn't think it got as far as Parkside, but I can't remember, just before the strike, we'd worked out, I don't know if we could go over it or under it, this fault, and we had another 25 years of coal then.
Right.
And of course the strike came. I believe we were shut because we were a militant pit.
Yeah.
Nothing would change my mind about that.
So, what was the difference? So, like Parkside?
Yep.
Was that quite a different kind of setup from you guys over here?
Because they had 4 cages to starters.
Right.
They had 4 cages. Headgears were covered in, so you couldn't see them.
Yeah.
But when I was open, like most pits.
Yeah. Why was that, Stewart?
Probably
Just like a modern approach.
yeah, pleasing to the eye kind of thing, like, you know what I mean? To be honest, yeah. Bull was not because I worked down Bull, but Bull was the big pit here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was probably bigger than Manor in all fairness. Sorry, Parkside.
Parkside. Because Parkside was relatively new, yeah?
Yep.
So when did Parkside open?
I think Parkside, they probably started to drive its shafts maybe in early 50s or something like that.
Right, okay, right.
So
Yeah.
you're looking around maybe late 40s, early 50s, that started sinking the shafts.
And then it got kind of like redeveloped almost.
Well, it takes something like 10 years to drive a shaft before we start getting nuggets of coal.
Right, I see. Yeah.
So when you think all these coal mines, and we've got 500 years of coal left in this country, and that's fact.
Yeah.
And it takes us 10 years to drive a shaft.
Yeah.